I'm bad on camera, by the way.
Azza, send it. We are live, and no, I'm not clipping. I'm good. I'm not clipping the microphone. How are you guys doing tonight? I'm doing okay. Thank you. I'll talk to myself. No.
Right.
um, cool. So tonight we have just a number of different topics, some of them including pit bags and tools and stuff like that, and what tool sharpness means, and are your tools dull and stripping out things? Maybe, potentially. Who knows? Tonight we've got John, the usual.
Yep.
And we got, do you go by Judd or Judson? Because I call you Judd all the time.
I go by Judd.
Judd. So we're going to stick with Judd. So Judd is going to be our guest tonight. We're going to ask him some questions, ask him about favorite chassis, tuning, all that random kind of stuff. You excited?
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Wow, that's so not excited. I'm going to need more energy from you, Judd.
More energy.
More energy.
Okay, it's been a long day, but we'll try.
Wait, did you have to go to the track today? Wait, the track's closed on Saturdays.
Yeah, track's closed. No, I had to clean the garage and get everything ready for the new job on Monday.
Nice. That's always fun.
Yeah, took a lot longer than I
until you hear
expected.
his schedule. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
It's
I'll be
crazy.
MIA for a couple weeks.
So actually, speaking of that, what does that mean for Kevin and PDX Underground?
Well, he's got what's his name? Alexander. He's got him. He's gonna start training on how to open and close and run what he needs to have run on Sundays that I can't make it. But as of now, Kevin will be there for the most of the Sundays that I can't make it. Yeah, so they have the next couple of Sundays of races, so I wouldn't have been working anyways.
So it's a race guy that he's training.
Yeah, the kid does buggies, and he started getting into drifting, but not fully into drifting quite yet.
Okay. Not yet.
Yeah, he's working on it. He's more of a buggy guy.
Gotcha. Oh, you guys, if you have pictures of your chassis or anything that you want to show, bring them up into Roast My Rig. Oh, I didn't mean to talk. I'm pressing buttons. Pressing too many buttons. Okay.
I'm working on Discord, trying to open it up. It's easier if I do it this way.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just get started. We're going to talk about our normal calendar events, and all that other fun stuff. So what we've got no Tandem Tuesday, or just no Tuesday at PDX Underground. They are closed because of scheduling stuff. And apparently it's Off-Road RC Worlds, something like that.
That's correct.
Yeah, that'll be us next month at Super G.
Which is perfect timing because that weekend of Super G, they also have the big J Concepts race at PDX, and the track will be torn down and turned into pit spots, and then new track will go in afterwards.
That's gonna be funny because it's gonna be like just like this brown gray black spot, and everyone's gonna be like, what was going on here?
Yeah, exactly. That floor is pretty bad.
I don't understand how it got so gross, like so dark.
Honestly, it was probably because the first few months that the track was there, it was not taken care of. So I think all that stuff is just permanently burnt into the ground.
I mean, but so actually, where are we at with new tile?
Ooh, I don't know how far we are. I haven't checked recently.
Because I know with like each raffle has been pretty significant, right?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. He needs to get back into doing more of the higher end drift stuff, not Like he's got the Apex 2 up for raffle right now, and nobody's bought any tickets for it.
Well,
You can't use it at the track, so it's kind of
yeah.
pointless.
Well, and what they were planning on doing like an on-road like competition with the Apex cars, right? Something like that. Not anything actually drift.
No, nothing actually drift. Once a month in the wintertime, when they do the full track change on the off-road track, they run an on-road night.
Okay.
So they'll just set up. Basically, what he does is he removes all the jumps, and then it's whatever layout was current. That's the layout for the on-road.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So he does that once a month in the wintertime. I don't know when he's going to start it again.
Does he allow sauce on the tires?
No sauce. But he has something that he puts Scotch Guard down on the carpet, like in the big corners, and it actually makes it more grippy.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And saves your tires.
The only reason why I ask is because I was playing on the oval track over at Northwest today, and since it's soaked in like tire sauce, it like all of it just builds up on the plastic tire, and you basically have so fearing for my car today, I ran a 6.9 second lap, which it's slow. Like most of the cars that are fast are like around 4.5, 5 seconds. Right. But yeah, it was fun. You wouldn't expect your drift car to go that fast, but any hit on the wall is gonna like rip off your front arm. That's for sure.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I remember those days when we did oval.
You remember?
Not real oval. It's the carpet. Well, we drove the drift cars on the oval track at Northwest when they allowed us.
It's not like when they allowed us. We were always we weren't supposed to do it, but we were allowed.
Yeah. We have a lot of pull over there because of Adam and the Midnight Suns guys.
Not anymore.
Right. Well, let's. I guess we'll kind of start.
Hold on. Still on calendar events. Okay. Okay. Tomorrow is the Slammed Enough Car Show, September 10th. There's kind of a few different things on that. I think we're meeting at 10 or meeting at 11 is when roll-in is.
Yeah, so if you are going to drift at Slammed Enough, try to be there as early as you can, probably around 10:30. I guess we're going to try and set up.
Yep. So Jake has the contact for tickets. You don't need to like specifically talk to him other than just show up. It is first come first serve basis though, but we do have quite a few tickets. 20 guaranteed, and we know that he has access to more tickets. So yeah. And then there are two different ending times for that show. One says 5 and the other one says 7.
Weird.
Like in the same post that Lance found. Anyway, okay. Then moving on to the next week, it's the 17th is our round 5 final. Okay. So our Super G qualifiers will end up next weekend, finishing that off and getting us ready for a send-off. And then 2 weeks after that is going to be October 1st. And that's going to be our kind of farewell last Matsuri at Northwest. So I don't know, like I was thinking about taking my entire PA system over there, but that's a lot of stuff to move. And for not very much work. Hey, maybe we'll ask Sean. You think Sean would come down? I don't think Sean would come down. That's a far ways for Sean.
Yeah, that's too far.
Right?
So...
Okay, so yeah, October 1st is the last Matsuri.
Yep.
Come have fun.
Is that on a Sunday?
It is on the Sunday.
Yeah. It's on Sunday. Okay.
Yep.
Hopefully I can make that. I should be able to make that one.
Right on. Right
I won't
on.
be there next week, no.
For the
comp.
Yeah, I gotta work on that day, unfortunately.
Damn.
When do you get off? Oh wait, it's a 12-hour day. Never mind.
12 hours day. Yep. I'll be off by the time you guys are getting home.
And You would think that it'd be like 4 12-hour days, but no, you're insane.
Well,
Your work's insane. Let's say
yeah,
that. We'll just say that.
it's a long story. It's something different.
So, speaking of long stories, we don't need it to be long, but we are going to talk about you a little bit.
Right.
Uh-oh.
So this is for the guys that don't know you, or that's so Judd is one of our local guys over at PDX. Well, he is the main guy at PDX if you are in the area and trying to get into drifting.
Mhm.
He works there and works with Kevin. He has helped us set up at the track here and there, and has built a few of the scale things over there. So typically there's like a questionnaire of where you're from, this and that. But tell us where you're from.
Right here in Portland, Oregon.
Cool. And your home track is?
Wait. Do you claim Portland?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I do live.
Wait,
I do live about 6 blocks away from John. So
yeah, and I'm technically Gresham. You're technically right.
I'm
we're
Portland.
You're Portland.
It's Portland.
Yeah.
Gresham.
It's still 181st is the borderline for Portland Gresham.
If you're in Powell, it's technically 174th. Like
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
weird.
driving through that, it'll say "Welcome to Gresham," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I am in Gresham." So you see like Portland, and then, but where's your home track?
PDX RC Underground.
Cool. How's the track for you guys so far? Well, I guess for us, how is it for you?
Oh, it's been pretty good. It's got me back into drifting more, definitely. It's growing a lot fast. A lot more people every day come in, especially on Fridays. More new faces. A couple people only come in on Tuesdays for the Tandem Tuesdays. Which, if you're in the Portland area and you want to have some good friendly comps, Tandem Tuesday starts at 7. It's kind of all for one when it comes to judging, but they get it done.
Except for this Tuesday. Tuesday they're closed.
Right?
Yeah, Tuesday they're closed. I told Kevin he should do Tandem Thursday this week just to keep tandems going every week.
Mm-hmm.
Up to him if he does it or not. I don't know. I won't be there. I'll be at work.
What would you say? So break it down for all the guys that are maybe thinking about showing up at PDX RC Underground. As far as like, what's the best day to show up for? If I just want to drive and like meet some people, just drive. What would be the best days? And
If
like
I-
actually drive time.
If I'm a noob.
If you're newer, Sundays. That's kind of the more laid back, chill day. Definitely, if you're new, pop in on Friday and check it out. But Fridays are usually hectic.
hmm
How about what about during the week? Like, 'cause I know you guys have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So Tuesday, was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 to 9. It's pretty dead on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesdays are $10, and weekdays after 7 is $10. So if you just have a couple hours, you're in the neighborhood, pop in, $10 to drift for the night.
Yeah,
Not
so I
including
think
Fridays. Fridays are 20 all day.
so. Guys, if you are going and you just want to drive and learn, if you are learning, I would say Wednesday, Thursdays are the best time to go and learn and just drive. That way you can get familiarized with your car. If you think you are ready to be on a track with what seems like 100 people, then Friday is for you. If you just want to chill, you want to tandem with your friends, Sunday is one of those days where if you're getting there and you're tandeming, Sundays probably would be a better day for homie tandems.
Definitely.
And maybe some maybe some tuning too, because Sunday's pretty laid back. So you can ask Judd a question or Adam if he shows up there. So yeah.
DJ is saying in chat Wednesday is super dead for drift while they're racing. I can imagine
there's
that.
nobody on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so if you're trying to practice, that's probably the best day to show up and practice.
Seat time.
Yeah, exactly. You want to
Everybody always asks me when I'm helping them. They're always like, "How do I get better? Make my car better?" And I'm like, "Well, you can only make your car so good. You have to seat. It's all about seat time. You can drive any car as long as you drive that car and that setup enough."
Unless it's the other day. Basically, what happened yesterday is Angel showed up with MC1.
Yes, that was. I've never been stumped on a chassis. Good thing Adam was there because we had to kick in the guru. It only took you like what 20, 30 minutes, and then it was driving again.
Yeah, pretty much. I think
just had to rebuild the whole front end.
Pretty much. I mean, I lucked out in the idea that I had spare SX3 knuckles, so there is that.
Yeah, that was a big help. Those knuckles were. What knuckles were those off? Like the original YD2 chassis?
The ones that he had. Yeah. So like they were first gen like Yokomo aluminum. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
Big blocks. They weren't even. They just kept binding on everything.
I mean, they had all of the adjustments.
Yeah. So back in the day, that's kind of like, instead of buying just a single arm, like a knuckle, you can just buy that and then you can set it up. The idea is you can set it up to your KPIs, so you can tilt it back and move it forward without having to change a whole lot on your suspension arms mount. You're using the knuckles to do that. That was the idea.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, it's a good idea. But I mean, back in the day, I guess you guys didn't really get full lock like we do nowadays. Because that's what it was. I could get it like 80% angle, but any more than that, it was just binding.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's what you were seeing last night, right? So, like, when you were trying to set endpoints on the gyro, but it would always end up being stiff. That's a direct relationship to the fact of the toe link arms being too long. So what was happening, and this is with a Rev D bell crank, by the way, which was missing the 3-degree kick plate. So there is that, and it was built wrong, and there is that. So I fixed that.
Yeah.
Except for the 3-degree thing. And if you were to look at it now, it's kind of like hodgepodge together. Like there's 2mm spacers underneath the actual rack itself to heighten it, make it taller. Yeah, and even still, it has like some pretty bad bump steer. So there's that also. But by the end of it, we got it driving. Oh, back to the explanation. So yeah, when they're too long, basically once you're at angle, like one side is going to just be fully like not the arm itself, but the toe link is essentially going to be pushing in against itself around the arm, and it doesn't have anywhere to go, right? So if you can't gain any angle, then it's just going to get stuck. So that's why those 45-degree angle rod ends are sometimes a godsend. They help out. But by the end of the night, we had that thing driving pretty legit. The sad thing is that it drove better than when I had an MC1. So there.
I've only ever driven 2 MC1s besides his, and that was Jake's and Neil's. And Neil's drives amazing.
It's all about the setup.
Yeah.
It is. I'm just sad that I couldn't get mine there, like, back then. But I wouldn't have, like, a killer Mini now.
Right. So it's a blessing in disguise overall.
Yeah.
So, um, so Judd, what got you started in RC, or yeah,
In general.
in general?
RC in general.
Yeah.
So I started RC with rock crawlers. A couple buddies got him. I ended up playing with him. Got hooked. I got him. About a year and a half later, 36-ish crawlers at one point on the shelf. Uh,
Wait,
after I got
36?
yeah, I I like building, and then I was in a point where I didn't really need to sell to fund more builds,
Mm-hmm.
so they just kept piling and piling and piling. I had shelves, I had racks full. I had a lot of them, and then I got into Go Fast. Found out real quick that was not my gig. I don't care to go 100 miles an hour in an RC car. And then met John while riding Groms,
And
and
me,
then
I was there, kind of.
and you, and then I got my first drift car, and was at Northwest Hobbies for like 8 months. I was laid off, so we were there like every other day. Just an MST 2.0, nothing special. And then got a Yokomo, and then the Yokomo sat on the shelf for a year and a half, 2 years, never came off. And then PDX finally opened, and now I have two crawlers and 5 or 6 drift cars.
What was the Yokomo? It was probably a YD2, but was it a what?
YD2S.
Okay.
And then John had a carbon chassis deck for it, so I bought that from him.
Mhm.
And
From the
then
Plus. Yeah,
I remember.
back in the day,
No,
it
I
wasn't the
think,
YD2E, it was a YD2 Plus.
No, I think he had the SX3 deck.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
what it was.
didn't like it, so like I went back to the Plus or the S chassis, the curved ones with the better
Mhm.
battery tray.
Oh, was this pre-Deli or post-Deli?
Post deli.
Okay.
This was Delhi.
This was Deli?
I want to say it's
That time.
after, yeah, like it's around that area.
That era.
Oh.
The era
Right.
of the Deli.
Mhm. So why RC drift? Like why not monster trucks and go fast or airplanes?
Well, so RC Drift, I love to do bodies. And as everybody knows, drift bodies don't really get banged up and broken. And
Not too bad, anyways.
yeah,
Oh,
not too bad. I mean, if you have enough of them and you rotate them every couple weeks, they kind of stay pretty good. But
I
like my
have some broken
crawlers,
bodies.
yeah, my crawlers, like I'd go out, paint a body, take it out to the rocks, roll it, flip it, drop it off cliffs, broken, come home, buy a new body, put it on. Granted, most crawler bodies are a heck of a lot cheaper than a drift car body,
Debatable.
but
Debatable. I
it
agree.
depends on what ones.
Yeah,
Get the throwaway crawler bodies, not the hard bodies. But just the environment of people and the vibes at tracks and people's garages. It's more chill, laid back, not hectic and like crawlers and bashers. I would say you're not never fixing a broken part unless it's unless it's me and I go a little spicy on a tune and fry a motor or two. But besides that, like I've never broken an arm, I've never broken a chassis.
Yet. Have you broken a
Yet.
wheel yet?
Oh yeah, I broke a wheel doing some drift jumps in my garage. That was fun.
Yeah, Jake.
Um,
Yokomo wheels don't hold up when you jump them, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
They do. It depends on what jump you're doing. Remember, we drove them on a
I mean,
carpet.
it was only
I mean,
like
I
a
guess we jump.
2-inch jump.
Yeah, I take them. So I've driven my drift cars over on the beat 'em up track over at Northwest.
Yeah,
Did
Adam
it
would just
did
go
it
back.
did it work very well? No, but I got over them.
So, what chassis do you have now?
Currently, I have 2 of the Midnight Minis, a Final Form Shark, an RDX, and another RDX that's going to be built as soon as the chassis shows up for it. And the new project, the Red Cat.
Not just
one's
any
gonna-
Red Cat. High CG Red Cat,
Very high CG Red Cat.
which
And it drives decent.
it, no,
decent.
it drives well. Like I was driving it the other day, and it drives really, really well for what it is, and just for being like a throw together thing with as pretty much as stock as it can be, right? With a minor.
Yeah, the only thing I have done to it is obviously the high battery mount, which was made out of random crawler parts that I had laying around. And yeah, racing big bore shocks, which is debatable if they're even an upgrade from the stock shocks that it comes with.
You just need to clean up the pistons. Like once you do that, then the piston will actually move freely through the shock.
Yeah, I should have did that today while
Yeah,
I
so
got busy. And then 7:30 came around real fast.
right. But yeah, racing tolerances, just like as long as you're a careful builder, right, and check for like free movement before you fully assemble anything, then it's fine, right?
Yeah.
There's always like tips and tricks that you can do here and there to make a crappy shock like perform how it should.
Okay,
True
so
that.
what's your main chassis? And when I say main chassis, like, what's your like? All right, first let's start with a comp chassis. What's your comp chassis?
Okay, well, that's kind of debatable at this point. The chassis that I comp in every comp and have never done very well in the comp is my Shark. The chassis that I do Tandem Tuesday with, the majority of the time, is the RDX, which I was on a winning streak there for a little bit. Logan came in and took that from us.
Logan is mopping the floor.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
He's 4 straight. He's going on 5.
But there won't be a Tandem Tuesday. It'll be hopefully Tandem Thursday.
Hopefully Tandem Thursday, but Thursdays a lot of people can't make it out because obviously they go to Friday, and a lot of people have families, and it's one day or the other day.
So come on, I'm going 3 days back to back drifting.
Right.
So yeah, I would have went today, but obviously we were closed.
Mhm.
Granted,
So
I could
what's
go
your,
drifting.
What's your go-to main chassis? Like something that you're just like, if the RDX doesn't work or a Shark, what's your go-to? Like, this is the chassis I kind of like do a Matsuri with, or like you're fun, like you just drive it because it's fun. Like you drive with everybody on Fridays or Sundays. Do you have a chassis?
That'd probably be the Shark. It gets the deepest angle. It's more style, fun to drive. I probably won't be comping it in a minute. And it's not really. Everybody claims it's a comp chassis. I feel it's just like a style chassis.
Okay.
The angle it gets is absurd. Backies for days. I actually had to put limiters on the knuckles so they don't go backwards in angle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I'm just driving for fun, it's definitely the Shark.
Okay. Do you want to
RDX
share?
is fun, but RDX drives exactly the same every time I drive it. But every RDX that I've driven separately drives different.
Mhm.
Yes, very much so.
And they're
Which
built
doesn't
the
make
same.
any sense.
Oh yes, it
You can
does.
you can have it set up exactly to the book and exactly electronics in the same positions. and they drive completely different.
Okay, on that note, right? You mentioned electronics. Same position, same everything. Same with pinion gear and spur gear. And this is what we were talking about, I think, a few episodes ago. The electronics are not the same. Like you can put a 10.5 and a 10.5, but different makes and model. They don't drive the same. They don't feel the same.
But that's motor lottery, right? Like that's a real thing.
Well,
but
even ESC, you can't just run like an AccuVance ESC and run a hobby wing motor.
Yeah, you can.
You can, but it's not gonna be the same.
Well, when compared to another AccuVance motor, yeah, it's not going to do that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's what. And then transmitter and like even servos. I mean, we all have our likes of our go-to servos.
Rev D all the way.
Like I run Yokomo and I can't stand Rev D. I've tried it. I had a Rev D.
And I'm the exact opposite. I hate Yokomo servos. They're
like
super twitchy.
Exactly. It's like we just have different
different styles.
Yeah,
exactly. And I do want to try the Futaba. I do want to try Futaba servo and a 550. It's probably going to be on the way. Not this next week, but the week after.
I would say those are pretty good options. Like, I wouldn't mind doing like a CT. What is it, like 701? Well, whatever the newest one is.
So the newest one is the CD 700, 701, something like that.
What is the new? Is the new one? Is it really angled?
No.
No, somebody told me it was angled, but I could never find if it was.
Like, what do you mean by angled?
Like they said that it was angled for, how like on the Shark, you offset the back of the servo so it's angled 6 millimeters. Somebody told me that it was angled, and I was like, there's no way they figured out how to angle the servo.
Well, I mean, that's just a machining decision, but that would be a very stupid decision.
Right.
Because there's like the Shark is the Shark MD1. Anything with an inline vertical, or inline shock or servo position, right? That's the only time that it would really, really matter.
Right.
But even still, that's not depending on the steering rack, right? Because the Shark is direct drive, which is why that the offset in the servo actually works. So if you look at the MD1 or the SX3 or anything like that, it's not a direct connection to the slide rack. So if you're going to do that, SX3 already does it, MD1 already does it, just because of how they built the chassis. Making the servo do it for you is not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
However, things that are actually including an angle change are the new RevD arms, which include a 2-degree kick up. So like built-in Pro Squat is what it is. We talked about it last week on Product Watch, I think.
Yep.
But it's cool. So just to touch bases again, right now we currently go up to number 7 blocks. Now they're going to have an 8 and a 9 with included TK blocks if you want that, and then the new arms. So the stupid part is that by the time that you buy all of this to get wider toe blocks and shorter arms, you're still spending like $100 just for the arm setup.
Yeah, that's not too bad though.
Well, I mean, so it's 2 aluminum blocks and then the arms beyond that.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm gonna go to. There was a question for Mitch. What was your first transmitter and receiver setup, Judd?
For drift or for RC in general?
For your life. For your life.
So, for drift, it was a FlySky GT5. Absolutely horrible radio for anything you want responsive. Perfect radio for crawlers. Go out, throw it on the ground. They're pretty much indestructible to an extent.
And they have 6 channels. No, how many channels? 4? No, they have 6. The GT5s?
They have 6 channels. Yes, they have 6 of them. And then from there, so when I was into drag racing, I had the M17 because it's got certain modes for ESC tuning, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be out messing around, and then you need some power. You click a button, and you have 100% power. It's like cheating in a way, but not cheating technically. And we were at Northwest Hobbies, and John kept telling me, well, you need to run your M17. And I couldn't figure out how to get channel 3 to work on the knob.
Oh.
And that was like the main reason why I didn't use it. Not really a big Sanwa fan after having Futaba now, but it's a good radio. They're not user friendly, I would say.
Which one?
Very the M17 Sanwa.
I mean, it's all learning curve, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we talked about last time. It's like
it took 20 minutes in a YouTube video to figure out how to just set channel 3 to the knob. Like,
But I think that's what it came down to, because a lot of the guys, there's more for what we're into. There's more tutorial videos now. Like, I remember when Adam and I first started our first YouTube video, it was, a lot of people watched it. Adam's got a lot of comment, but there wasn't a lot of people doing it. And then, the next thing you know, what is it, like 4 or 5 months later, there's like tons of information on YouTube. Like Rolling Garage came out with their videos and things like that. So I think it's, if the M17, if we did a video on it back then, I'm sure someone else would have followed, or we would have followed someone else if someone started a video.
oh, definitely.
So it was just like a matter of time on when and how, like, things would have escalated from like the M17. And then, because I remember when people were using the M17, Sanwa everything, because you have the Sanwa Type D with the rev limiter.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why I ran Sanwa, because you can run it on that, and then of course it was faster than the Spectrum. So that's when I made the switch.
Spectrum.
Hey,
But
man.
the dumb part about the Sanwa setup, like as far as the Super Vortex D, their drift spec servo or ESE, is that like so you can set the rev limiter, right? And like it sounds like a real rev limiter, like instead of just holding back. It's the best sounding rev limiter that an ESE has, right? But at the same time, you can only choose the rev limiter and no turbo, or you can choose turbo but no rev limiter, and then all of your boost is coming from your main motor timing increase is coming from boost and not turbo.
Yeah.
So it's like opposite of how we would set up anything via our AccuVant stuff or any like Hobby Wing or anything like that.
Yeah.
Same idea, just different emphasis on boost and turbo.
Now, AccuVant's rev limiter is interesting. If you play with it enough, you can get it to sound decent.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just to do that and traction control at the same time on the radio.
No, so traction control is at the beginning side of the radio, right? The beginning of your So, but if you hit the rev limiter hard enough, so like if you have your gobs and gobs and gobs of timing just from boost, then the rev limiter like shows up and it sounds pretty cool, just not as cool as the Sanwa one.
Yeah, Sanwa sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Now I will say that I never have had a problem with Sanwa radios. So as far as reliability goes,
I didn't have a problem with mine either, but everybody said AccuVants, and then I used AccuVants, and it just all in all felt like a better quality radio, like in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
More weight balanced. Batteries last a whole heck of a lot longer because they have screen timeouts on them, whereas Sanwa does not have a screen timeout, so the screen is lit all the time.
The only downside to the Sanwa setups is that since we do drift cars, a lot of us have multiple cars, and if you use the same exact receiver in each car, then you end up controlling more than one car at the same time. So there have been times where I've driven a car off of a table. That's for sure.
Damn.
But other than that, it's still a great radio. It's still recommended. But if you are considering it, stick with like MT44, MT5, M17, like
Yeah.
that
If
mid
you're
tier.
gonna go Sanwa, definitely 44 or M17. The M17, it's a nice radio.
Mm-hmm. But then
But
$600 or
if, for
$700.
people, yay! And they haven't came out with one for a long time. But
Mm-hmm.
anybody who comes into the shop and they ask what radio I recommend, obviously I recommend either 7PXR or 10PX. Unless you're on like a tight budget, say around 200-ish, then definitely the Noble
Yep.
is the next best radio. Don't even start with what's the Futaba
4 p.m.
3PX or 4 p.m. Waste of money. They're super confusing and everything's abbreviated. So if you know how to read abbreviations very well, and the whole dial on the thing is just I hate it
Mm-hmm.
on the 4 p.m.
No, okay. I do find that the physical buttons on the 4 p.m. are nice every so often. Because it's a physical button, you know what I mean? Like you feel
but
the
like
press.
the way you gotta like you can't press it. You gotta like put your fingernail in there and pull it back.
You know what my fix for that was when I had one? I put a little like a little piece of an eraser and just taped it on top of that, so it was like a nub, kind of like
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
like the old BlackBerry days.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
It's little mods.
Yeah, so my biggest problem with the 4 p.m. was the whole like software issue that they fixed, but like now at the same time, the 4 p.m. still is just like it's a halfway done radio. I recommend it to any of those that are thinking about AccuVents because it can still do all of that stuff. But at the same time, there's just been so many quality assurance issues with the 4 p.m. that I'd rather have the Noble that actually feels better in the hand and not like a toy.
Yep.
Yeah,
And-
see, like the Noble, like obviously being like I'm always helping everybody at the track, and a lot of people have the Nobles. The Noble, it honestly, the feel of it,
Mhm.
I love the feel of it.
I mean,
If I
it's
didn't have a 7PXR, I probably would have bought a Noble.
it's the only radio that comes with its own battery bank that you can detach.
Yes.
Right. I do like that.
And the fact that it has this quick swivel.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I have buddies who drive, like they hold the radio backwards and then drive with their other hand.
Yep.
Whereas if you have the Noble, you can just switch and you're good to go.
But so here's the interesting thing, because their entire life they've been driving with the radio backwards.
Yes.
So what would happen if you actually gave them a left-handed radio? I mean, granted, our radios are technically left-handed, but you know what I mean, right? Baseball glove.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Do you have for a shark? Do you want to share your go-to setup, just like a basic shark setup, since that's your go-to chassis? Camber, toe in, front and rear.
So I'll start with shocks. Shocks, I run the tapered pistons.
1.1 or 1.2?
I believe they're 1.2, the bigger ones, and a million holes.
Only 6 holes, you guys.
Yeah, it looks like a lot though. I think there might have been a few more holes drilled for me.
Okay.
But then I run 50 CST front and rear on the Shark.
So that's 5 weight for y'all.
Yeah, 5 weight. Let's see. So for this one, I have the Rev D front springs on it.
Which ones?
The one that,
R006s or the thicker ones, like the blue ones?
no, they're the thin ones. They're blacks.
Actual blacks or like the
Yeah.
thin?
They're, I don't know, they're the thin. They have a black,
Like there's
T-shrink
coils
on 'em.
tight. Huh? Weird.
yeah, tight coils on the bottom.
But they're
They're
black.
the typical ones that come in the PC.
Oh, okay.
kit.
So Gen 2 Rev D PC springs.
Okay, yeah, that's the front ones.
Those ones.
And then
Those-
I don't know. I got them from Austin, I think. And then for the rears, I run R-Tune
Oh shoot! I pulled those
Yellows.
springs.
R-Tune yellows. I like it a little stiffer on the shark. The shark in the back, if it's too loose, it doesn't handle very well. I
Mhm.
found the stiffer it is in the rear for the shark is more my driving style.
Mhm. I'll
So I
say
kept that.
I'll say this again for the past 2 weeks. Yokomo or not Yokomo, Rev D, the new edition Blue Springs, R-Tune Blue Springs. So if you look at it, it's not the R-Tune front Blue Spring, it's just the R-Tune Blue Spring, and I think they're like 24 millimeters long, something super short. But those are money on the back of my cars.
I'll have to try those.
And I have 2 sitting in my toolbox. So what's weird is the Rev D's set up like the way it is, the way I got it from Jake, minus like a couple things that I did. But I don't remember what springs are what on any of my cars.
Well, I
Basically,
mean, you don't have to care on the RDX unless you're
well,
actually.
no, not RDX, but like the Mini. I put it together and someone asked me at the track, I'm like, what springs are you running? I'm like, I don't know. It just feels good on the car.
Are they Rev D springs?
They're actually, I got it from Alex. They're top line springs.
Oh,
Trying them out. I don't know what top line springs. I just put it on the car. I'm like, okay, that feels close to what the RDX feels like. So
do
I
they
left it on there.
do a painted collar like
Yeah.
on the? Yeah.
Mhm. But like, I didn't know what they were. I just put it on the car and they felt great. So I was like, cool. I'll rock with those for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Austin's running the opposite of Judd. His springs are soft, super soft.
See, again, preferences on how you drive your car.
100%. That's like I tell everybody at the track, I can tune your car to the end of the world and back. You're still gonna have to make the minor adjustments for your personal driving style.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 100%.
Hey, buddy.
Which I'm wild and I like really deep angle, like old school angle, like not
Old
RC,
school angle.
not RC drifting, but like old school real drifting, just style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very fast. Sometimes I'm decently fast, but not very fast. But it's about angle for me.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Actually, something that came up while on Friday. Yeah, on Friday. Chris was there, right?
Mhm.
And like just seeing how different his style of driving is versus our driving, well, my driving more specifically, is like we're exact 100% polar opposites. Like his car is set up in a way where at least the car that I drove, right, was set up in a way where you commit the car to the angle and the corner, but you don't really like detract from it. So you got to plan super far ahead in terms of where you want to place your car and how it's going to be, like where it's going to be, right?
Right.
Whereas mine, like my whole philosophy about like how I tune and like drive my cars is you can put the car wherever you need it and still be able to make adjustments, like in and out, forward or backwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I have mine set up. Obviously, everybody knows I run a crazy amount of boost and turbo. That's the main reason, because when I get in a pickle, I can just give it all the beans, and it slows it down and kind of drags it back a little bit closer to the wall. Sometimes a little too far to the wall, and I hit like I do on every comp. But you know,
Public service announcement: boost and turbo does not make you faster.
no,
If anything,
slows
it's
you
the
down.
opposite.
But I found on the Shark that I was obviously too much RPM, as you told me that one day, and I set rev limiter. I brought the RPM from 116,000. I brought it all the way down to 89.5 at my rev limiter. So it would bounce over a little bit, like 91, but it definitely sped up the Shark. And then I turned on drag brake. That makes it better to transition. I don't have to flap the brake and then goose the throttle again. I can just let off and then throttle on. So I don't cut people off in the corners, as some people always tell me. Brake check them.
Yeah, drag brake can be used in a good way, in utilization or harmony with your car. If your car is all set up wonky and your car just doesn't pitch to the forward like naturally, you can use or if you have a Hobbywing D10 motor that doesn't have any torque, as from the 10.5.
You have Hobbywing D10. If you're not running at least 20% drag brake, you're not having a good time.
Because like effectively what happens is that you have that wind down time where it feels like, for me, the car just like keeps on going and it doesn't want to stop. So you can use
100%.
You can use drag brake to like oppose that. You can use drag brake to help initiate your transition. You can use drag brake if you tend to brake a lot. You can use drag brake to be able to kind of counteract that habit, so you're not slowing down too much, so that you can continue to keep up with the car in front of you.
Yep. The D10, that's kind of what I started with. I will never own another one as long as I'm in drifting. No, for $120, it's just not a good motor. The rotors are very weak, especially if you have an RDX and you don't have your motor plate spaced. You will blow the freaking rotor tip right off of it every time. It's happened 9 times now, I think, at the track where the rotor went flying off.
Oh, geez.
And the sensor boards are very, very sensitive. They're weak. We've also had 4 or 5 of those go out. All different motors.
So if they would have kept it the same as the 13.5 with the medium magnetism rotor, it would be on the same level as a Fledge.
See, I'm not too big of a fan of my Fledge. But and I don't have the torque rotor, so that could be the killer point for me on it.
Well,
it just doesn't have that instant low power like the BS Dual that I got from you with the torque rotor in it.
No.
Right, come on. I'll be back. I gotta handle some business.
Okay.
So.
Go eat, John.
Right? No, I mean, he doesn't need to pause for that. He was eating on camera anyway, right?
True.
I mean, I eat on camera, so there's that too. But like Cameron and I were actually talking about that. How Chris, come on. So basically, I started off with a Fledge 10.5 standard motor, right? And then I opted to go for the level 45 rotor, which did make a difference ever so slightly, but enough where it was like, okay, whatever. And then I got the 15.5 motor, and the 15.5 motor, I switched the level 45 rotor into that because I felt like it needed it. And then the one that came in the stock rotor that came in the 15.5, I put back into the Fledge, the 10.5. And that the rotor from the 15.5 felt so much better than the original stock rotor that I had. And that's
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm running in my Shark right now, and like my Shark, it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
I don't. That's just it though. I think it just needs a different rotor for my likeness of it.
I think it's just a testament to Motor Lottery. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're buying from like what's his name, Rotor Ron, like in the race world, something like that.
Okay.
Like you're always going to get some just motor, right? If you win the lottery, cool, but if not, then you're kind of stuck with it. And not all of us have like the money to just shell out for motors. On a side note, Brian, he has one of the I think it's Hobby Wing, but the Modalizer, and he was actually telling me how he tuned his motor by changing the spacing of the Hall effect sensor to the rotor. So not just the rotor, but like actually moving the Hall effect sensor on the board. I'm like, that's too much work. I'm no way. Not to mention that the Modalizer is like a $300-$400 tool anyway. So I'm like, no.
Which is nice because I have access to that stuff at the track. But it's just for like if I want to do it for myself, I can't do it for other people because it's obviously an expensive tool.
Yep.
I've never cared to do it. Maybe someday I'll try it, but it seems like a lot of work. You gotta pull the rotor out, test the rotor. You can dial it in, but then you gotta put it back in, and then you gotta use the motor analyzer. And even playing on the motor analyzer, you can adjust your timing to get the most power out of
most
the can
efficient
itself.
Yeah. And it is absolutely cool that you can do that. Way too much effort for me to, because we're not trying to save the 10th or 100th or 1,000th of a second, right? We're not drag racing. We just need the power to be kind of in the right area.
And the spec buggy motors, or just buggy period, they analyze it, figure out where their timing is best suited for the most power. But I mean, every 10th of a second is everything to them.
Yep. And like for stock buggy, right? So 17.5 stock buggy, the gearing is already ridiculous because like stock gearing for a 17.5 buggy, if I remember right, I was running like a 69 tooth spur gear and then like a 28 to 30 pinion gear. Like that's what that was. With no slipper clutch.
Yeah, I have the slipper illuminator. What am I at? 72 spur and a 32 pinion.
And it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts because the race motors, you tune them to run a main. If you're serious in it, then you tune them to run the main. That's it. By the time that they come off the track, your motor is like 140, 150 degrees. Yep. So that's what they do. That's what they do. Okay.
It's life.
Right? It's just the whole idea of racing is it's fun, but so much chaotic nonsense that I don't care for it because there's racing, right? That's already stressful enough. And then you got to support it by buying tires and then breaking arms and then buying new arms. And then if you actually want to be competitive, then you need to figure out the right electronics for you. And it can't just be like the cheap electronics.
And then it's like, obviously working at the pro shop, it's all about money. You can buy speed.
Yep.
I mean, like $100, $100 and something for ceramic bearings.
Mm-hmm.
130 for titanium screws.
Mm-hmm.
Like the there's multiple tickets that's well over $300-400 that, and that's just for titanium, and it's like to
Yep.
shave a tenth of a second. So they'll spend $200 to shave half of a tenth of a second,
Mm-hmm.
and some people can't do that, I would per se.
Well, and then you go to the extreme end, right? Like drag racing. Literally, if you aren't spending like $2 to $3 on your drag racing car, you're not competitive.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like
And
I
then,
have a fully built Reckless chassis from the Reckless crew over in Washington. Uh, I mean, I can go run that right now. It's ready to go. I will fry a motor or an ESC,
mhm,
blow up battery packs on a run. Like you're pumping so much power into
yep,
those. It's like the competitive guys. They'll go out do one run and swap a $300 ESC in and another $300 motor,
yep.
and then go do their next set of run.
And they're less than 2 seconds away from either running into a wall or just like randomly flying into the air or just blowing up.
Yep. My fastest time was only a 1.6 for the
Mhm.
10th scale quarter mile, so 132 feet.
But no matter how we look at it, drag racing, I think, has the biggest payout. As far as
Drag racing definitely has the biggest payout. The last year's Texas shootout that they had, uh, 40 or 50 grand for the
right,
take home.
what was the King of the Streets? Let's find
King of the
that.
Street, that was only a few grand. I think it was like 5.
I think it
I
was
think
more
it
than
was
that.
5.
I thought it was more than that. 21.6. But yeah, like
That's a good amount though.
yeah. And then there was also an RC drift competition there too. So that was cool.
Really?
Yep. The closest guy that I know that went there was Chris Rivero from Washington.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, like it's kind of cool. Like I think it was Prototype and Sly. No, I think it was Prototype and Super G that hosted the event. And I forget. I think it was a Yokomo LTS that one. Like not an RER, but an LT. I don't remember, but it is something that was meant to play on asphalt like that.
Yeah.
And it is cool that RC Drift is getting that type of exposure now as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just since I've been into it, I feel it's grown a lot.
100%.
Especially here in Portland. So many new people here in Portland.
So, okay, let's actually talk about that. Like, why do you think it is growing so fast? Like, why is it so easy to pull in a person there than Northwest? Because, like, Northwest is hard.
My whole thinking on it is we had a really big car scene before COVID, like real cars. COVID ruined that for like 99% of the car meets. Red Door was huge, and their Red Door is no longer a thing. They will never bring it back. So I just think there's just a lot of car community in Portland, Vancouver area, and people see that the atmosphere and the vibe is good. There's no drama, well, some drama, not a lot of drama.
Right.
Which you're gonna have drama with
Anything.
40 plus guys all in one area anyways. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is just the car community finally found something else to do minus building real cars, because that's kind of died in the long run around here, I would say.
I mean, car culture as a whole has kind of died.
Like, yeah, exactly. But a lot in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see nice cars driving around. It's hard to drive a nice car on the streets of Portland. I don't have a nice car currently. My RSX is lowered, and I will probably never put wheels and low profile tires on it because it's just driving around. You're gonna bend wheels, pop
Yeah.
tires. Just yeah, the roads is just horrible around here.
Or they'll get stolen. Take your pick.
Yeah, that too. That too. Everything gets stolen around here
Mm-hmm.
or vandalized because it's nice. I
Yep.
see that a lot.
Yep. It's unfortunate. It's stupid. Yeah, watch out, John. You might end up with cinder blocks on your 8.6.
No, he's smart. He
Right.
parks it in the garage.
We were talking about popularity of RC drifting and how much easier it is to bring up or bring into a new person into the scene up in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy in Portland.
Like what Judd said, a lot of people want to play with cars. Also, it helps that everybody that's in the current scene, as far as like in Portland, everybody talks about it. It's you're always bringing somebody in. It's just I think it's the way it's a way people out here versus what's like people in like you say Eugene or Junction City or Medford, Grants Pass. their main play is bashing or crawling.
Yep.
Yep.
They haven't been exposed to how cool RC drifting is and like getting your car sideways. Sure, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's cool!" Like because every time we go to car shows, we see it. Oh, that's super cool. That's super cool. But they're not like, I can drive that anywhere, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The basher and the crawler is like dirt or rocks, and that's everywhere outdoors.
And that's everywhere over there.
When you're in a bigger city, like the drift scene blew up because there is a place to drift, and it's nice. It's not dirty. It's not
Except
crappy
for the floor.
Well, I mean, it's not like the floor is still better than driving out on a
Yeah.
basketball court somewhere or
For sure.
somewhere outdoors or asphalt.
It is clean. I mop it all the time, every day. It's mopped.
But yeah, I think that's part of it. I think if there was, like say, if someone opened something up down south, I think it could get bigger, but it has to be done right. Like your social media should be there because then that's the number one tool I believe for spreading the word, right? Because
Mhm.
everybody's on there all the time. And then
100%.
having the right people, the right core community, that would also carry who's coming into your shop and who's actually going to be out there. Because if you don't have a
Mhm.
good community that supports the local track, I don't think it would survive or grow.
Yep. So
if you,
yeah, no, 100%. Because like that's what Chuck was doing, right?
Mhm.
Long time ago, Chuck was
Yeah.
basically the only guy that would bring around his mobile track, right? Set it up, or just set up a track at RC Plus or whatever. No one would come just because it wasn't like social media wasn't like a huge thing back then, right?
Mhm.
And then it got to the point where we were getting big. People were coming to the shows. People were like doing the
Mhm.
drift events, right?
Yeah.
But even still, it's tough for just like one person, especially for a mobile track, right? Because you
Yeah.
never know, and
Mhm.
not having anyone show up sucks.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's when pretty much any business or any event, if it's not backed by the community, I don't think it's
Yep.
gonna be a surviving event or community. Period.
No, 100%. Like I'm pretty sure that the drift scene in Oregon was really only continued by the restart from like Alex and Lance.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't do anything at Northwest, it probably would have never picked up again.
hmm Well, I mean, if there was no like that, there was a track in Portland. Like, so even when the deli opened up, like all of a sudden there's a track, right? Like there's a track, so people came out. I mean, sure, it was like 10, 15 people, but that 10, 15 people could have escalated to more people coming in when it if people knew more about it. And also, like that shop opened up at COVID, like the beginning of COVID.
Yeah,
That's when it opened up. Like it was, it was operating, you know, in the underground. Like, and we still had people come in. Like people still want to drift, and COVID, you can't come out, you can't go to, you know, indoor events because you're gonna spread COVID. But still, people came out, and this was after where you can actually go in. But yeah, there's people
Uh-huh.
right? So, and that's the thing. It's like there was a public space. It was open to a lot of people, and you can. Basically, it's a place to drift. Um, so, like anybody that has a garage track, people came out and drove. And sure, it's selected people or invite only due to space. But yeah, people would come out as you tell them, "Hey, I'm drifting." People would show up. I think that's what's going on with PDX. Is hey, we have a track. It's actually a track, and it's a nice floor. It's not dirty. I mean, yeah, sure, you get dusty and whatnot, but you don't get the grime off the garage floor or you know the dirt grime that you get from like outdoor track or asphalt.
Oh, I got some gross stuff on my mini that I was running on the oval today, like
That tire sauce.
yeah, all the tire sauce.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't run my bumper because the bumper was too low, so my like it would just skip across the carpet. And then I was also diving so hard on the brakes and didn't have firm enough springs on the front, so like the front end of my bumper was all covered in that crap too.
Damn.
Anyway, it could be a fun class. Just say it.
It could be. It's just oh, and let's talk about the times too for the track because I feel like that's important. It's,
Wait, context. Times of track of PDX.
Okay, so yeah, so so this is another reason why I think PDX is working.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So a lot of the people that can afford to buy RC stuff, they're working during the day, like
Yep.
9 to 5, you know, 10 to 7, 11 to 6, or whatever it was. But day jobs, right? It gets in the way of the fun, but you need a day job to pay for all these toys.
Yeah.
So what do? You work all day and you want a place where you could drive or, you know, wind out. So you go to a track that's actually open after your work. So with PDX being open from 2 to 9 p.m., it gives a lot of people an option to like, okay, do I go to dinner first or do I go drive at the track or go do dinner with the family from 5 to 6 and then show up at the track 7 to 9? So that gives them 2 hours to drive.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
with not being close by 6 is helping PDX stay open or basically not staying open. They've been open for a while. But drifting wise, that's when people come out. It's like after work or after dinner, they can come out for a couple hours.
Mhm.
And I think that's where PDX is winning as far as just an RC track and growing the RC drift community because now we can go over there and play after we work. So
Exactly.
especially Friday drifting till midnight. I mean, like if you were a working man and there's no track and you didn't do RC, you'll go to a bar. What times are the bars open? From like 2:30 in the afternoon until 2:30 in the morning.
So you're saying that the actual excuse to get out of the house should be, well, at least I'm playing with toy cars with other adult men that are playing with toy cars instead of going to the bar.
I mean, it's a valid excuse. Just think about it. Like in Japan,
There's
like you see those
karaoke.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's karaoke. There's like all these places that you can go do things at, like
I
entertainment.
mean, you can do that above PDX and
Right?
then come back down to PDX.
I mean,
So
but
that's what I'm saying. All this hobby stuff is after hours of working.
I mean, only in
Yeah.
Japan can you go visit a real life size Gundam that moves and bend down on one knee. or you can go to the actual Pokemon gym. Yeah.
That could be a fun trip.
Japan's way better, man. I want to go to Japan.
Someday.
Not just for drifting, but for other obvious reasons.
Right. Well, so
drifting too.
yeah, I think that's why it's working. I think if there was more of a like, I think it's just gonna keep growing because
Mhm.
I remember when back in the day when VIP was still open, we were able to, and this was back in the day when 4-wheel drive drifting was a thing, like TTO 1D type. There was an event. This was back in my Honda days, actually. Um,
Did you
They-
say haunted days?
Honda days.
Okay.
They basically the owner was kind of into it too, so he's like, yeah, sure, I'll stay and just kind of hang out. I think it was like some weird. It's either a Friday night, or it was just like during the week when it was like super slow. So we all showed up with our RC cars, and we basically owned the floor like we did that one day, but with 4-wheel drive. And I think after hours, there's so many people in there that were like into it, that wanted to get into it, but there's no place to drive, or
Yep.
nobody was there to be like, oh yeah, this is what you should buy, or blah blah blah. So
I've yet to come across the person that like walks by the track and says, or that doesn't say like, or has any sort of like remark that says like, oh, this is cool. Like, it's always been, this is cool. Hey, they're drifting cars, or hey, look, it's Tokyo Drift or Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah.
It's never been like, oh, like these things are stupid. It's always
Yeah,
been something
always.
like, this is cool.
mhm. So yeah, I think it's just place, time, and then the community behind it, and it'll keep growing.
No, definitely.
Okay. I think we're getting too serious right now. So let's switch gears. We're gonna go hop over to roast my rig, and we're gonna go see those pictures. And I'm gonna press this
Rig
button.
roasting.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can actually roast them. We can actually start off with Austin. So it looks like he did a bell crank conversion on the Mini.
Wait, Austin, are we going up or down on the list?
I thought I was just starting from the newest.
Oh, because I think we covered.
I'm in roast my rig, not general.
Yeah, I think. I'm
Oh,
on
you're
Mitch.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So, I think we did Mitch, and then we did Austin with the lights last week,
Yeah.
and then I think we're at JSET 24
Wait.
with the body.
No, we did that last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah, we did.
We're 8.6 Momo.
Yeah. So we're looking at this crappy Beaver Whacker Subaru thing. Whose idea was that? Besides, obvious, because we know whose car it is. But you know,
The idea is cool, but I don't
Yeah.
like the wood grain just because it's kind of 280s like station wagon. But if it was an actual station wagon, I think it would have been cool.
the only
with the
station
Subaru.
wagon that I know that has been cool is oh shoot, Joey up north, and
Maybe.
then
I don't remember it. I don't remember which one it is.
and then Bill.
So you have your cool, you have your funny, right? Funny can be offensive sometimes, but yeah, I think if it was just like no wood grain type, I think I could get behind the style, and maybe like a better offset wheel or better equipment.
But World Rally, like as the body. Okay, I'm guilty. I had the HPI body, not this one, but the sedan. So I was kind of there too. The blob eye.
I mean, we started drifting with TTO 1Ds with a Subaru World Rally Champion body with the
Mhm.
full livery, so not bad. I mean, you can technically drift a WRX or a STI.
I do like the compartment
The roof
the
rack.
roof. Yeah,
Yeah.
The roof has cool on it.
yeah. Bad juju on the wood grain, man.
All
Like
right.
if it wasn't visibly wood grain.
Right. So are we going on the next one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I don't know about this one. Interesting choice.
But I mean, I give it A+ for the anime chick.
But it's 2D. It's not even a figure.
Like I said, at least there's a anime chick on there. I do like the missile look of the S14.
Okay.
I
The
can
wide
get behind
body.
that. It's like what is that? Street style missile. Like I don't know. Like I think the idea is there. I think there's more room to evolve as far as like the figure could be a 3D model.
This is probably back in the day where we could only get the Yokomo high traction wheels too.
I don't mind those wheels actually.
No, I run them all the time. There's nothing wrong with them.
We all used to run them all the time.
I run them in the front now.
Okay, moving on.
We got Chinese food 142.
This is Brandon.
Which Brandon?
Gwen, RCFC.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. What car is this?
It's a YD2.
Sorry, my computer's not like on it. Like I didn't open it.
It's a YD2S with very, very rare Yokomo blue parts. Because Yokomo doesn't do blue anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which they should, because I want blue.
All right, so I can't really roast this one, just because I do like the chassis, like even this rectangular, like I do like that battery mount.
You know which battery mount that is, right?
Yeah,
What?
it's the old Yokomo battery mount.
From what?
Oh, I don't remember from what, but I think it's from.
It's probably from a DRB.
Isn't it an option part that you
It's
can buy?
well, no.
Like Vertex from back in the day. I don't know what car it's from, but yeah.
Yeah, it's from the DRB.
Okay.
Because I use that same battery mount on my FXX when I had it. Yeah, DRB's correct.
Nice.
It's a YD2E, by the way.
Yeah, this is so it's I like it. The only thing I would really roast on it, the wiring's not as clean as I want it to be, or would want it to be.
I can't talk about wiring.
I shouldn't talk though, because my wiring on the RDX is like I didn't even cut the wire, so I just kind of soldered battery leads to it and called it good.
See, my RDX is all tucked, but the Shark is an absolute nightmare right now. I need to redo the Shark wiring bad.
So he does have some history on it. Well, not not history per se, but my TV just randomly turned off. But he does have the original Acuvance S Bus adapter on here.
I was just looking at that. I was wondering what that.
So
how old that was.
Here's how crazy things are. Okay, so back literally last year, you could buy this adapter and it was $42, something like that, before shipping. Now it's revised. Ever since the Rad came out, it's revised. It has a plastic housing and they want like $65 for it now.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. You're paying for the housing.
The thing that costs like 3 cents.
Right.
And
but we'll buy it.
Well, I mean, because you have to now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have an option. So we've got a Ford Mustang body. I can't tell. I don't think this is the MST one. Actually, it could be.
I don't like the racing stripes on them down the middle. It could be the MST. It looks kind of like the MST. It's just a weird angle.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's wait.
Because he does have MST stickers on this. Oh,
It is MST confirmed.
Okay.
And I just posted the Discord link in chat, you guys. In the YouTube chat, not Discord. Okay, honestly, the MST Mustang body is my favorite Mustang body. Nothing really comes close to it.
But I mean, it is the only Mustang body. Well, okay, there's the Fox body. But yeah, I like the RTR look.
There's tons of Ford Mustang bodies out there. Like HPI has one.
Yeah, but they're not wide bodies.
They are.
Are they as wide as the MST one? The MST one's really
No.
wide.
Yeah, the MST one is stupid wide.
Yeah, you can run a 10 mil offset.
Well, so
Really wide.
I mean, the way that you want to do it though is you run E blocks or 7 blocks with 51 millimeter arms with 8 mil spacers, and that gets you flush fitment. Oh, and you also need 51 mil CVDs.
Yep.
Just
Or you just build a final form shark and it fits perfect.
No. Because
It drops right on perfect fitment.
But what was your donor chassis for your shark?
Well, it doesn't matter because it's final form.
It does matter. Oh, you're right. Okay, never mind. Because of the all aluminum arms and
yeah, the aluminum toe blocks are like 4 inches wide in the back. Maybe wider.
yeah, I don't know, but okay, yeah. Then that's fine. I think this looks like an Addiction Z 350Z 370. No, it's a 350.
Yep, I think that's a 350.
Yeah, 350.
Yep. I like the body. I don't like the paint job.
I like the paint.
I like the body.
It reminds me something of Elliot would do.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, so yeah, aesthetically, like the body is good. The paint, I always imagine this body as like one of those like darker paint job with like the Ghost Carbon or the Ghost Livery. I don't know. That's just.
I mean, be real with yourself, John. It's more about the wheel gap.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, yeah, it could be better. But
it's wheel gap. That's wheel gap.
It's called Millennium Jade paint. Is that a Tamiya color? I think that's a Tamiya color.
Not sure. Couldn't confirm.
I don't think so.
I know that jades are a key, a keyboard switch. Yeah, that. Okay, here we go. 1-to-1 car.
Okay. I can't really roast this one.
Tamiya non-chart color. Okay, gotcha.
So it is cross-track body with like, how do you roast this one?
I mean, it still has some ways to go to become Lance's car, like fully.
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs to put the tent on.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the lights. But other than that, it's still
definitely like 100, like A+ for originality.
And not just that. Yeah. This is a completely, well, for the most part, an all original deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's like the Yokomo parts in a Z transmission, but here soon we will see. Okay, so let's go back. All of the colorful parts, like all of the 3D colored parts, that was all designed by Lance. The chassis was designed by Lance. Even this weird bumper thing was designed by Lance. And I think that was like a today thing. Because like we were bringing that up in our chat earlier, and that just all of a sudden came up. But yeah, so the idea behind this chassis is flexible deck, kind of modeled off of the Megalodon, but not the Megalodon. And also vertical stability, vertical chassis stiffening rails. Here's his car. Yep, needs the bush guard or the bigger bumper bar,
The brush
right?
guard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hella horns. Are they hella horns?
Hella horns. Yep.
But yeah, and then here, I wish I could make the picture bigger more easily without zooming, doing weird stuff in OBS. Anyway, squint if you can't see.
Yep.
he,
So
got, he got the carbon cut out. That's
Yeah,
neat.
so this is the deck that I'll actually be getting tomorrow, and I'll be putting on my shark. So
Nice.
we will see what the flexible
Is it
deck
nice and
does.
flexible?
Yeah, it's a flex deck, and it's really, really narrow.
Lane,
Yeah.
I need one. I need one. I'm trying to get away from the shark deck. I've grown to hate the look of it.
Sorry, I was reading Chris's chat. Apparently, we hurt his feelings. It's deserved. Wood panels shouldn't be on that car. Anyway,
I do like the midnight sun or the rising sun logo on that chassis.
right?
I think this needs to be Lance. I need a mini deck for this. This would look dope on the 8.6 mini chassis. Well, the not so mini chassis.
I mean, speaking of minis, there are limited quantities of mini chassis left over. So if you are interested, hit up Jake or hit up John or I, and then we can hook you up with that, or at least get you in touch with the right people.
Yep.
They are on sale, $80 if you are local, $90 I think. It's shipped within the States. Which I think we sold. Yeah, we're sending out. I think we're sending one out to Mile High RC.
Nice.
Which. Thank you, Mile High, for sending us some goodies. Yeah. Things to review in the near future.
I think next week I'm gonna order their FD lights and underglow lights.
Oh, cool. Yep, they're ready to take orders.
I mean, it's in a good price range. The other ones are like $100 for some LED lights, and I'm not gonna spend $100 on lights. But $40 for lights, and was it $25 for their underglow kit?
I'm not sure.
And their underglow kit doesn't glow like the rest of the homemade underglow kits. If you know what I'm talking about, it shines right up and out the windows.
Well, I mean, that's part to do with our bodies are hollow, man. Like,
Oh yeah, but at the same time.
right.
I can't wait to. So, all right, you guys. Should the 8.6 mini, not so mini, get a FD lights? I'm really
Context,
contemplating
John.
getting-
So, just to start off with, you have an Addiction 8.6 body, right?
Yep. So I got an Addiction Pandem 8.6 AE86 body.
And that
That's-
is the
That's
225.
240 mil.
It
not-
is 240.
It's a 240 wheelbase. So I stretched out my Midnight Suns mini chassis or wheelbase, anyways, to accommodate this body because the width, it gave me a little bit more room to go a little wider on the front end, and I did go wider on the rear because of the Pandem hit on a particular body. But yeah, so it looks pretty good on the chassis. So I'm thinking about putting FD lights on it just because I can. So we'll see how that turns out.
I think I would leave that one how it is, personally. It looks
Right.
good.
It's so good
and
right now.
it's-
Oh, and I do have some Watanabes that might make an appearance tomorrow. That would fit that body pretty well.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
I mean, it's not
Like-
really like a Formula D like body. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's just I don't know. It looks cool, and I kind of wanted to do the lights.
It would still be cool.
Mhm. It would just be like it's on like sometimes, but not all the time because the body just looks good on that car. So, ooh, speaking of, I need to clean that car up tonight. So,
They have
I'll
the
probably say
Kirby
clean some of mine.
Mile High RC has the Kirby fan shrouds.
the Kirby. Oh,
I printed a couple of those.
I have to. Okay, I'll go on the website right now.
Why can't I? Oh, come on. There's some
There's like a
websites.
website, right? Yep. Cool.
It's a Shopify website.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Wait,
Here we go.
am I on the right website? It's Airplane Engines.
I just put the link in chat.
Okay, cool.
I'll put it in Discord too.
Sick.
General. The Kirby shrouds are sick. You guys. I'm a nerd. I like it. Formula D lights are $40 and the underglow kits are $25.
All right, so maybe a Miata for the underglow, the next mini build.
Another, which one though? Like MST or?
No, so I've been contemplating on the idea of actually building the original wrap up next mini.
Uh-huh.
So like a Miata, like how it should have been originally. But now we have option on the MST body because I still have a new one sitting behind me
Mm-hmm.
that I just got back from Joe, and then
The new one looks really, really good with like simple fender flares on it. Like Daniel's looks so good.
which,
Like the white one. It's the white NB Miata. Yeah. And then Lance did fender flares on it.
oh yeah, I remember that one now.
It's made very few appearances.
But like if I was gonna build another mini, it has to be like an actual NA Miata. Like I just have to do it again. And maybe attempt to do the pop-up headlight too.
Gotcha.
The sleepy eyes.
Dude, but that'd be cool. If you do that, that'd be cool. But that's so much work. Wait, who's done it in our group? Was it Charlie?
That did the pop-up?
Yeah.
No. I wasn't gonna do like the full on pop-up, pop-down thing. I was just gonna either cut out the headlights and like just pop them up a little bit so it's like sleepy eye style.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, and then like do actual yellow lenses and like it's always been like the project or the idea on the Miatas. And then like the rear, what do you call it? The rear window ducktail look or the rear window spoiler.
Mm-hmm. So we should all do real actual pop-up lights and then make them wink so we can do that just on an RC scale.
Who's doing that? Someone's doing that already. Or it might be on a different group, but yeah, I thought
Charlie has the pop-ups, but they're not winky.
Yeah. I think if we had like all of our Miatas do winking eyes, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be funny.
It'd be cool. Then we can go visit the garage in Makula, Oregon City, Clackamas area, the Miata shop. That's
I was trying to find that, and I could not find a Miata shop in Oregon City. There's a hot rod shop, and there's a street car shop, but none of them specified in Miatas.
Yeah, they're supposed to, according to words on the street, that they were gonna open like a RC shop.
Huh.
I've heard that I've heard a couple of shops that were supposed to opening
Like a drift track or whatever.
Maybe if there was one Vancouver side, it would probably survive, or if it was another business that closed down at nighttime and put a track in. But with how popular and booming PDX is, the two tracks, obviously one of them's gonna die. But
Oh, it depends on how they do it. I think if they did it like to where they work together instead of like bashing each other, I think it
Yeah.
could work. Like to where you have like a monthly meetup and like a monthly showdown, like just for bragging rights of like who drifts better.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I think it would make it work. So
DDX guys versus
versus
whoever.
Well, it doesn't even have to be that. It just needs to be like in a constant circuit type of thing or series,
Mhm.
right?
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be like either every other week or every month you switch like competition tracks, right?
Mhm.
Something to
Mhm.
that effect.
I mean
Okay.
that's how Japan drifting is surviving. It's like they all are from different shops, but they get together on the weekends and drift at the same track and hang out and BS.
Yeah.
So, all right, back to roast my rig.
So we've got Austin and his Final Form Shark with a high CG battery mount. Thank goodness for brass stand-ups.
Right?
Man, wrap them things, bud. Wrap them. All the brass.
No, man.
I will bring vinyl tomorrow.
I mean, mine aren't wrapped.
So then I'll bring some vinyl for you too.
Nah, I'm good. Actually, mine are Ascender, Vatera Ascender link extensions.
Yeah, the one on my RDS, I just used axial 30 millimeter links.
Have you driven it like this, Austin? Because you weren't there last night, so I could imagine it doing a pretty wicked fast transition just with where it's at.
Well, word on the street from people who know a lot of people, or somebody who knows a lot of people, they are supposed to be releasing high battery mount for the Shark.
Oh,
pretty soon.
really?
That's what the little birdie told me last night.
Huh.
Interesting.
Oh, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, they said that the final piece to the final form is supposed to be a high battery mount.
That'll be interesting in how they do it and how high they'll go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't really go any higher than what I'm at right now.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting because like when I was stacking weight like on my Yogi chassis just right in front, it had such a fast transition that I couldn't deal with it. But I didn't have any supporting mods on it either. Like my high CG Mini, like that has all the things to be a high CG car. So I'm curious of what they'll do here. Like if they're going to make like an extension for the upper arm so that the car rolls over more on the front. So who knows? Who knows? David's saying that Rhino has shocks coming.
I would never buy shocks from Rhino. Just because I have built one and I know how poorly quality the metal is. It's really bad. It's really bad.
It's like a hit or miss thing, right? Because like just if you were to buy the Rhino Shark conversion, right? Like there are a few parts, there are a few things, right, that are kind of like whatever, but overall the Rhino conversion, not the final form, like it's a pretty solid piece of kit, right?
Yeah, the Shark conversion is good. The final form is something different on the other hand.
I just think there's too many parts, like too many specific Rhino parts, you know? But
100%.
Yeah.
But I will say, after I cleaned out the bearings and on the pivots,
yeah,
way smoother.
Right.
I'm currently trying to source ceramic bearing kit for it.
No, man, no.
Pretty smooth.
I get the idea, but it's so much in bearing costs. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, how much do I already have into that stupid thing? Might as well add another $100 into it.
I mean, sure. You do you. Also, this much more racing car stand was probably worth way more than what you should have paid for. Just because it says much more.
Actually, I think they were only like $20.
That's much more.
Well, yeah, but I have the much more, and then what's my other one?
I just use
Oh,
a
never
storage
mind.
box if I need to put my car
I
on
have both
something.
much more.
For a while, I just used a fishing tackle box and put like the tire foam deals on top of it, so my car didn't slide off.
Yeah, but yeah, I got that idea from you. So I have my little blue box that I have all my plastic bits on in. That's what I use for my car stand if I ever need it. Beast mode 2.0 for RMX conversion. That conversion is a good conversion. Chris, there's no puns that I'm trying to do. I'm not a pun guy. Too much dad joke. But yeah, Beast mode RMX 2.0. This is a good conversion. It does brighten up the chassis, or actually, it kind of dulls the chassis a little bit, but it makes the chassis more drivable, depending on how you do it. But this is a good conversion. I do approve. And then this is the new addition from David. The worst part about Discord interaction is that no one's name is what their name is on YouTube. So it's like trying to figure out who everyone... Yeah.
Oh, look, another shark.
But it's a Hydra. I was actually bringing that up today with Cameron too. How my shark is the most normal car that I own. Isn't that funny?
Wait, are you bringing your high CG Miata tomorrow?
Do you want the high CG mini or do you want the McShark mini?
Both of them.
Oh, both.
Why do you do this? No. You get 3 cars.
Okay, so those are 2.
So
Those
Shark, Yogi, and 1 mini.
Wait, it has to be the high CG.
No,
The high
MST.
CG.
Austin says
MST.
McShark. No,
Shark.
I don't want to bring out the MST.
Why? That thing's an animal.
It's just a Mustang. No one else cares.
You don't have any bodies?
Bring the high CG.
High
Sure.
CG.
The high CG mini.
Yeah, because we've already got a shark mini. It's cool, but the high CG mini is straight
Stupid.
gangster.
Yep. And yeah, I'm bringing the mini tomorrow. The not so mini.
Unfortunately, my mini is torn apart.
Okay, so how about we just not call it a not so mini because it is just a 10th scale, a real scale 10th scale.
Okay, the real scale 8.6.
Which just ironically means that it looks like a really small 8.6 compared to everything else. But that's about it.
Pretty much. But it is cool.
We'll bring in all the mini tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
RDX and the 8.6.
Okay, last one from David. We got this pretty clean A90. It doesn't have the rear spoiler, so this isn't the Yokomo one. A plastics?
No, it looks like.
I'm not sure.
I like the yellow headlights.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like it has front bumper. It looks a one piece.
Oh
that-
yeah, I got what you're saying. What? Okay,
It's not the MST one.
personal preference. I hate cutting out bumpers. Like the.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I've tried to cut out bumpers with some intercoolers, but I
Oh,
don't know. I've never been.
This
it's
is-
always in the butt.
This is the
Oh,
Yokomo
so-
body.
Yokomo. So, oh man, I wonder how much smaller or bigger it is than the MST body. Because the MST body, the front bumper sits lower than the sides and the rear.
Mhm.
So you always have a massive wheel gap in the front, and
So
it
that
bugs the
that's
crap out of me.
that sounds familiar with the BR or the 86, their GT86 as well, because like if you look at their the side skirt, they did it weird on the side skirt. Like it tracks lower than the rest, like the front and the rear bumper. So I cut
Yeah,
mine level. Okay, this A90, if you guys are ever curious in the Yokomo A90, it is like the rear end is super paper thin, so be careful on that. If anything, go ahead and do some like reinforcement, like just throw a crap ton of shoe goo in the rear bumper. That way, at least it like gives some sort of longevity to it.
uh, stay away from shoe goo. Use drywall tape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It works the best.
Um, as far as width goes, it's this one isn't like stupidly wide. Um, because all of Yokomo cars are based off of like its original wheelbase or wheel track with 6mm wheels. So like it's a standard Yokomo car.
I think my next body is the Pandora A90.
Oh, David, when you painted your black trim on the front here, uh, did you do it did you trim the body, like the peel of the body and then spray it? That's a good trick if you did. I like that trick.
It looks like it because it's matte.
Mm-hmm.
If it was painted from the inside, it'd be glossy.
Not always. The Spastics, the ultra gloss black one, that one really comes out like really really good. That's how he paints all his black. Yeah. Oh no, that was Austin. Gotcha.
Painting outside on the black.
And also trimming the body peel, and then just using that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how the original R31 house body got painted on the front bumper. Basically, we cut that out and then peeled and then sprayed black on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So when it started peeling, you can see the actual paint underneath.
Yep. And Austin's A90. I don't know. I'm just not an A90 guy. Or it's on an RC car in person. Okay, right? But yeah, not on an RC. Even though
I
that
just
I've
need
had one.
another A90 for my livery that I have in my box. Then it'll go on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's my issue with like full livery. It's like that's a lot of effort, and then it just gets bashed.
Only
Yeah,
if you
but
let it
so-
get bashed.
so-
Only if you go on Fridays.
No, okay. So, for liveries, my body that I run every day of the week, every Friday, there is not a single mark on the livery. And I have had people run tires up the side of it. The liveries I get they're really good quality. They're just matte finish, so not a lot of people like them.
And you have to cut them all out, right?
It's cutting's easy.
Well, I know, but it's just not a die cut thing, right? And I
No, it's not
prefer
die
that.
cut, but it only takes an extra few minutes because it's clear background. It's clear. It's printed on clear vinyl,
Mm-hmm.
so you can just do a rough cut. You don't have to get all fine cuts with it. So you just do the outlining cut and then stick it on. And then the only way you can tell is if you're like up super close and personal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those liveries hold up really, really well.
What green is that, David? Because like it's a deep emerald type of thing, but it doesn't look metallic. But it could be from the lights that are green that are just above it.
It looks metallic in the sunshine one.
All right, guys, hit the like button. There's only 7. There's 15 of you guys watching.
Like, subscribe, hit the like button.
Yep, and share.
Smash the notification button.
Do all the YouTube things.
Okay, let's move on to product watch. Let's go over there. Actually, there's not a lot of products to be watched, but there were a few announcements that came out. Let's see, starting at the top of my list, we have announcements for MD2 incoming, which I think is really premature. But yeah, MD2. Funny enough, though, they did actually fix a lot of the problems that were just inherently there on the MD1, which I'll post it in Discord and post it here. It's an Amiiblo blog, I think. So make
is
sure
the MD2 available for purchase, or is it?
it's only
just
announced. Yeah, it's only just announced.
Because they just announced the SD. No, not the SD. The
Yeah, SC 2.0.
2.0.
Oh yeah,
No,
the four-wheel
for
drive.
for the buggies. But that's already available for purchase. So I didn't know because they released them, or they announced them the same day.
So what I've been noticing though is that whenever they announce things, it's really, really fast when it comes out. Like this is already developed. It just needs to be released, right?
Right.
So MD 2.0, click on the link. Let me see if I can find some pictures here. As much as I'd like to put this up on... Oh, wait, no. I can put them on Discord here. I'll just copy images. And we'll go under Product Watch. That's where I'm going to be, you guys. Oh, give me Discord. So MD 2.0. They've made a few clear, obvious changes to it. For example, the lack of the inline steering rack servo steering rack. Yeah, so they went more along the lines of what I would say that Bianca did it first at moving the servo to the back. But it is definitely an RDX move as well.
I do like that battery mount setup.
That didn't change. That's the same battery mount.
Yeah, I still like that.
They still have the weird pillow ball.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the pillow ball.
Like it works, right? And then there are parts that you can clean up the slot. Yeah, until it doesn't.
So from looking at this pictures,
it's a rig that you have to do a lot of maintenance on.
I mean, not even that. It's just it's a lot of incurred slop where like the older system art was fine. What? Sorry, what, John?
Oh, I was just looking at the arms. So it looks like the front arms are using the original Yokomo upper arms.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the bottom they're using the pillow ball style with the Yokomo inserts.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the back, they're using the pillow ball deals. So is it just me, or that rear end looks like a shark rear end?
No. The only thing that's similar about it is that it's an open transmission. Like, so it's still using the full on the dropout quick diff removal, which it's kind of weird because having those inserts here, just right like as the axle carriers, that in itself has a little bit of play in it, so it's kind of like it's fine, it works, right? And it does give you adjustability in terms of like where the diff actually sits and resides, because you can do diff tuning on buggies in terms of...
I get to drive an MD1 tomorrow.
Which one?
Hopefully Matt Timmer.
Oh. Yeah. He's coming tomorrow?
Yep.
Right on.
So Team Bankai will be there tomorrow.
Oh, so Joe too?
Yep.
Right on. So the weirdest thing about the MD1 is this right here. This is a bearing. Why? Yeah.
Oh,
So
in the middle.
yeah, right in the middle, right in front of the transmission.
Is that for like the chassis flex twist?
Yes. Why? I don't know.
I mean, it could be functional, right?
Yeah, it could be.
There.
I mean, clearly they clearly they put it in there, right? So there's got to be some sort of method to their madness.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't like here is that they're still sticking with the plastic arm. They did change it to the flat one instead of the L. So okay. But if you still have to file down or shave this plastic bit on a $1,000 car, that's just stupid.
I think anything that you have to shave down to put it together, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, just for reference, you guys, this car is marketed as 115,000 yen. Okay, so
I like how they are using an SPO2 V2 instead of an SPO3 V2.
Okay, now
I'm just saying, like $1,000 car, and you're gonna showcase it with the lower parts.
Oh wait. Okay, apparently the yen has dropped significantly.
Oh,
Wow. Okay,
$800.
778.
Okay, it's not bad for. Okay, so I know you didn't like your MD1, but I feel like
Okay, wait. So I think I gave up too fast on the MD1 just because nothing came out for it. Like,
well, yeah, okay, I can see that. Because I think the way things are now, if there's nothing that's coming out for the chassis, it feels like like no one really. Okay, nothing came out. It's not as fun. But when you have options to buy like random bits, it's like, oh, I want to try this, or I want to try that. So that chassis stick with a little bit longer than versus like if the RD. Okay, so if the Red Cat RDS actually came out, or if people actually came out with upgrade parts to make it better, instead of like everybody using the same Yokomo shocks or Rev D springs. I think if there was a little bit more aftermarket support, I think it would have been a little better for them.
okay, they say they redesigned the steering knuckle, which it's now an inline thing, like an actual true inline thing, instead of like their SX3 where like, it had a weird trailing arm type of scenario, which is cool. But this design has 3 holes instead of just the standard 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, cool, fine, whatever. But you know, if it does come with the adjustable axles, that is very, very cool. Because those are super nice to have.
Yeah, I do like those a lot. It saved my bite last night.
I like
get more angle.
I like these way better than the Rev D ones, because the Rev D ones are like it's an insert that you attach and interlock.
It's like a jigsaw.
Yeah. But whereas these, it's just a 4mm washer, or 4mm inner diameter washer that you move to one side or the other. It's easier. Like you can change your offset and keep your wheel on, kind of. Okay, moving on.
Yep.
I posted it above the MD1 pictures, actually. So apparently Topline is doing another run of their belt conversion. So if you want a YD2 belt conversion, keep your eyes out for this. It's super cool, but it's also super expensive. I mean, okay. I guess that's relative. Although, let's see. I think the last price that I saw, it was plus $200. Or a little bit more than that. Somewhere around there. So that's it, like, for products reviews. Just heads up though, if you are a Futaba runner, we have a new firmware. I don't know when it was actually released, but we're on version 12 for the 7PX, 7PXR. No real big changes. It was just added servo compatibility. So with the CD700, CT702 or something like that. And then there's like a new 500 series servo that's coming out soon, apparently, hopefully. For Futaba 4PM firmware is up to version 5.3. In the bug fix, or in the update log, it does say that there's a radio communication update. So if you're having weird dropouts, or if it's just like a weak signal that you've been noticing, this might be the fix for you. This wasn't the original brownout fix, or unless they got reintroduced in the last firmware for some reason. Futaba 10PX is now up to version 7. The last time I checked, John, it was at version 2. So I've missed a lot.
Right.
Again, no major updates. They added some mini Z stuff, and then added, again, servo compatibility. That's it. Other things, because we're actually past time here, and we'll cover it either next week or the week after.
I say next week. That way you can do like a update on like when you build yours.
Well, I mean, I kind of can't right now.
Oh.
So this came in the mail today. It's the team. So it's AD team, according to the package. So this will be cool once I get an RDX, or hands on an RDX. Hopefully that's sooner than later. If anything, I can always just go out and buy one. I know there's one at Hobbytown right now.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
I believe Uncle Jason's got one too.
Really?
Yeah, that might be going away or not getting built.
Oh,
So it's still fresh in the box.
okay. Review T-Works 12 and 16 hole pistons that are kind of like the Axon things. Those are cool. We'll save the other topic for next week, because I kind of wanted to do a Chelsea Denofa, what he does when he walks through the pit. Well, actually, no, let's just do it. We'll end on this. Judd, do you have a tool that's specific to a chassis that you only use for that chassis?
I do, but it disappeared at the track.
What was it?
3mm turnbuckle wrench for the Shark.
Was
Oh,
it-
for the shark turnbuckle.
Yeah, for the Shark turnbuckle. I had 2 of them, and they are both no longer in existence. That is the one thing everybody does use my pit at the track, and tools and supplies disappear.
Yeah, that's annoying. If you use tools, put them back, or make sure you ask and then put them back.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So,
And like my one wrench or my one turnbuckle tool gone.
so to remedy that, for the Shark, ProTech makes a kit of these guys.
It's
So-
got 3mm.
So it comes with 3mm, 3.2, 4, 5, 5.5, and 7.
That's
Yeah,
ProTech?
they're 4 different red. Yeah, ProTech.
Okay.
They're
I'll have
kind
to
of
order one of
bulky. Like, they are kind of bulky. That's the only downside of it. But
Wait, doesn't MIP make a 3mm wrench?
They do
Probably.
not.
oh,
They don't.
Is it 3.5?
The smallest, I believe, is 3.5.
okay. What about you, John? What is a tool that you specifically have that's like made for a chassis?
A Traxxas turnbuckle popper thingy.
I wish I had one.
Right? Like, so that's the only tool that I took from Traxxas, because it's just a flat, like, piece of metal that can go under the turnbuckles to pop them out from the balls or the
Mhm.
ball studs.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, here's mine. We'll switch the doopy doo. Or not, hold on. Here we go. Now we'll switch. Okay, so if you have an MC1, you know what this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with this one is that it's super flimsy and weak and can't hold a lot of torque, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this 4mm side is like it's pinched back to normal, but it's too tight. And then this side, since it's made out of weak steel, it again spreads out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the fix was very, very ironic, or very, very funny at how it works out, because this came from my my work meeting that they were giving out, and it's this cool little multi-tool thing. So this actually replaces the big end for that wrench that tightens that big nut that holds the spur gear on.
Nice.
So now it's significantly thicker than that.
Yep.
So yeah. Like this thing has been pretty cool.
Nice.
Okay, you guys. I think that's it. John, do you have anything to add?
Nope. We'll see anybody that's going to the Slammed Enough car show tomorrow at the Portland Expo Center. We will be there drifting our RC cars on a track that they let us use for tomorrow's car show. So if you want to hang out, go check out some cool cars, like real cars, and check out some RC drifting. Talk to us, say hi. If you guys see us like in public, feel free to say hi. Just sometimes I get looks and like I don't recognize who it is. Like I don't want to be that guy that didn't say hi to you because I didn't recognize you. So if you recognize me in any way, like hey, you work at this motorcycle shop, or I saw you at Spirit Peaks, or it's at PDX, say hi.
It's I saw you on YouTube. That one still freaks me out.
Yeah, that'd be. I haven't gotten that one yet. Oh.
Judd, did you have fun tonight?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, that means we didn't.
Yeah, on topic for tomorrow, I have 2 6-foot tables for pit area that I'm bringing.
Okay.
So if you guys need a pit somewhere, one of them will have a PDX banner hanging from it.
Yeah. So guys, I know local guys. If you are showing up and you have your PDX RC Drift T-shirt, wear them. Or if you're wearing a hat, wear them. I will be supporting the Speed Style or the Team Bankai hat tomorrow. So we will see you tomorrow.
Oh, reminder, if you are coming, this is a car show. Bring your own chairs, bring your own table. If you need, I mean, tables are kind of whatever we can share. But yeah, bring your own chair for sure. 100%.
Thanks for reminding me. I'll put mine.
Yep.
Last time sucked with no chair.
Yep, and it
does anybody know if we have power?
Nope.
No power?
Yes, charge your batteries tonight just in case we don't get power at all. I did charge my radio and 2 of my batteries. I do want to check out some cars tomorrow too, so I'm probably since we're not doing a comp, I'll probably do some walking around and taking pictures.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So
I need to find my future car.
Right.
So you find it at a Slammed Enough car show?
Yeah, no, just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I have
just build ideas.
Car, but...
For sure. Okay, you guys, it's been fun. You guys take care. We'll probably be around next week, same time, doing the same thing, having fun, doing some RC drift talk. If you do want to be on the show, let me know. It's not that hard. We just want to talk. Mm-hmm. You don't need to know anything. You just need to have an opinion. That's it.
And a cell phone.
Well, at least a cell phone. If you have something better.
Too, so you can read topics and stuff.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let me get back to the button here, and you guys have a good evening. Later.